it's Nina. Thanks so much for joining me today. I don't know about you, but I am a big fan of art impression stamps, and today I'm going to be using the adorable Hedgehogs stamp set along with a few other colorful products for a fun and very colorful birthday card. I'm using the Hedgehog stamp set, which is filled with some really cute and funny images. I'm going to be using the one where he's popping his little balloon. I'll be pairing it with the big happy birthday die from Mama Elephant. And I will also be filling that as a shaker with the Let's Polka Sprinkles mix from Lucy's cards. In my card, I'll also be featuring the new HOLO Waves mirror cardstock from Tonic Studios. So I began my card by die cutting the big happy birthday die from white cardstock. I created a panel and I cut that from the panel that I'm going to be using as my shaker. We're going to be using all of the negative pieces today for our shaker rather than the large word. So the word I'm going to actually set aside, but I'm making sure to save all those little negative pieces that came out from in between those letters. On the back side of my main panel, I'm going to attach this with a bit of dot runner onto a piece of acetate. This is going to be the window for my shaker. I will trim down this panel off of the acetate so that way it is ready to be attached to the card later on. I laid the happy birthday positive piece, the part you normally would use, back into that negative space. That's going to allow me to perfectly realign these negative pieces that are from in between all of the letters. By having that guide, that's going to make sure everything is perfectly aligned and in the right place. Once I've finished adhering all these down with Gina K Connect glue, I will carefully peel back that positive piece to make sure I don't lift up any of those areas that may still be drying. And as I remove this, you'll see we have that fun negative happy birthday in our panel. This will be the window for our shaker. Behind the shaker is going to be a piece of the new HOLO Waves mirror cardstock from Tonic Studios. That's going to not only be the background of my shaker, but it's also going to have a little bit of extra paper on the edges around this panel that's going to get layered on top. So it'll be not only the frame, but also the inner portion of that shaker. And I put 2 layers of foam tape around the word happy birthday on the back side of that white panel we had die cut the word happy birthday from. And in the middle of that holographic paper, I will sprinkle in some of those Let's Polka sprinkles. Lining this up over top of that pile of sprinkles and that really beautiful holographic paper, I adhered my entire shaker panel together. Now that's sandwiching all those colorful little confetti pieces inside of the shaker area. Now I will set that aside for now, and I will actually continue working on coloring the cute little hedgehog that's from that Hedgehog stamp set. I put a piece of scrap white cardstock inside of my mini Misty tool, and I'm stamping the hedgehog with some Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink 3 times so I get a super crisp black impression. I really wanted those crisp black lines to be sure to show up. After I've stamped the image, I'll bring in some Copic markers and start coloring in the image. I used some pretty simple shading here. I did use about 2 to 3 colors for each area of the hedgehog. I started off with teal for his sweater. I really love this color of teal. These are some BG11, 32, and 34 markers. I paired that with a bright green. This is YG01, YG03, and I'll bring in just a tiny bit of YG25 to shade some of the areas of the edges of his sweater and also the little cuffs on his sleeves. The hedgehog is holding this really cute balloon like I mentioned earlier, which also features the fun sound effect. And when I saw this set, that was what really made me laugh, was not only was this poor little hedgehog poking a hole into his balloon, but it even has the sound effect to go with it. So it just cracks me up. I love art impression stamps, not only because they have so many cute images and so many interactive elements, but they also come up with some really fun and clever stamps too. So after I colored the balloon with some RV markers, I used RV04, RV02, and RV09, I brought in a few browns. I used just a few browns to color in his body, and then I brought in some darker ones to color in the little spikes all over the backside of him. I really also love the fact that they added the spikes that are poking out of the sweater itself. This stamp is just absolutely charming, and I loved working with this to create this birthday card. I think you'll have anybody get a big smile and a big kick out of this cute little guy. So once I finished coloring, I fussy cut the image out with some fine tip scissors. I just went around all the different areas, making sure I didn't cut off that fun sound effect. Once he was cut out, I made sure to line him up exactly where I was going to want him to sit on the card. He's going to be popping out of the card basically. I'm going to line him up along the edge here and cut off any excess areas that's hanging off the side. And that makes him look like he's kind of popping into the card. I used foam tape to attach him down. I added a little bit of black pen over top of the eyes and the nose of the hedgehog with some white gel pen details for some highlights. This really brings the character to life when you add details to his facial features. On a piece of doll pink cardstock, I brought in a sentiment from the Hedgehog stamp set and stamped it down onto that cardstock using embossing ink. I'll add white embossing powder over top of that and emboss the greeting. This greeting is going to get cut down with the Simon Says Stamp Sentiment Labels die set. This will cut out the sentiment perfectly and give me some nice even cuts around the sentiment to make sure that it is perfectly straight. That way I can adhere it down onto the card with a little bit of foam tape, and it's going to look really crisp with all of these fun colors. The really bright and happy combination between the holographic paper and these really cool sequins from Lucy's cards. I wanted to further embellish the card just a smidgen with a few more of those confetti pieces popped here and there, just around the different areas of the card. I also brought in a few little stars too. And then that's going to finish this up. It's a pretty clean and simple card overall, but I wanted it to be that way because we have so much color and so many fun things happening here. I did not want anything else to be distracting from this. And of course, that cute little hedgehog just steals the whole show. So I hope that today's card has not only given you a big smile because of course he is adorable, but I also hope that it's inspired you to create with this fun stamp set from Art Impressions and some of the other fun products that I used throughout the card as well. Thank you so much for stopping by and visiting with me today. I can't wait to see you again, but until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!